So there are these two parts that you see here. This is the one that's in the front of the ship, and it's like in the front hull area where there are these four little gaps, one on top, two on the top, two on the bottom. I'll explain it in a minute. You have two options. You have this plate here, good detail as you can see, and if you take this, put this here, this completes the assembly. So it looks like this. Very nice, very cool. I like it. But then you have this plate here, which is identical to the other. The only difference is that this is supposed to be this, but lowered down. I don't know why. Which, of course, at the same time, you get these two parts. So if you put one on top of this, like this, and then you put it here, like so, it simulates a pair of cannons coming out from here. That's kind of neat. I like that. But then again, why didn't they put that on this one so it would be one part? Like, for example, you have the option of putting this in here, or popping it out, putting this one under it, and then this one on top of it. I guess maybe because of the clearance, because it doesn't look right when you look at it from this angle. Or maybe it's a type of how can I say this? Like another variant of this kit of the Andromeda. I don't know yet. I was trying to do some research, and I had to download Google Translate to translate whatever historical information or any information that's on the manual. But I didn't see anything, and on the instructions, it just tells you you could either use this or use that. So this is what they all look like, as you can see. Now, many of you are saying, well, now you have a choice. Should I use all these, or should I use all these? In all fairness, I think this one looks good, but then this one looks good as well. So I'm doing this up right now. I'm going to paint both of them. They're going to be both painted, and then I'll let you guys tell me at the, once we display this at the same time, once the kit is complete and I show it off, you guys tell me whether or not this should be used or not. Because I'll definitely like to do a lot of work on this one. This one, basically, I can pop out and paint the standard colors. In here will be probably a darker black, and then detailed here for this. So that completes this, and we'll put them on soon. Then we have the cannons that I just did right now. Really nice. Really cool. I like this. I got the two rear cannons, and then I have one cannon that had the different color part, the off-white. And then here are the cannons themselves, which, using the sanding sponge, I began to sand down not only the cut here that was, because part of the sprue connections was here. There was also a thin mold line there, a seam line, you could say. So I used this one and began sanding it down. This is a finer grit version of this, and this one's a little bit more finer. I can probably do a little bit more, but it looks good already. Now, I've already put the cannons on these two. I did not put the cannons on this, because once you put them on, it snaps in really good, and I want to paint these guns. So these will not be painted. Those will be painted because they're all already connected. But the assembly is pretty simple, as you can see. So you have this part here, followed by this section that goes here. I also had to sand down areas here to make sure that the cut or the separation of the plastic is nice and even. I also made a goof, so let me just put this on first, because this will definitely be taken off. But when I put it on, actually it was not on this one, it was on this one. The mold had this part here where I had to cut and sand down, but for this one, the mold the connection was here, and as I was sanding this, I was sanding off the edges here. There was a little bit of a plastic trim there. You could see it once I put it like that. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. So didn't realize what I was doing. I sanded the whole thing off, but I'm going to see if I can get like a little plow plate, really thin one, cut it in the dimensions for this, and put it here. I'll be for later. For this one, we're going to take 2 of these little guys here also. Put them on here and here. And this one goes here. And this one goes there. These have connections like right there on the edge, and I had to be very careful holding them down, so I had to use this to hold down the little part, and then using the sanding stick to sand a little bit just to even it out a bit. Alright, so with that being said, for now we're going to put these here. And by the way, their specific area, they're part specific, so like right there, that should go here, I believe. That one goes there. And then if you flip this one around, this one goes there. There, like so. Then we have the 2 wings. Whoops, one of them fell off. This better not be a thing where this thing pops off at. I see it on the table at the show. It better not be. So that one goes there. Okay. And we have these little guys. One goes here. One goes there. Flip this around. One goes here. One goes there. Like so. And then we have a little part that goes, come on, here. There we go. And then the 2 cannons go back here. I'm not going to push it down, I'm just going to leave it there, sticking up a bit. And then these 2 go over here. Can I actually put this on like a little bit, just so you guys can see this? Yeah, I can do that. We might as well have a little fun here. And the cool thing about these guns is that, and I tested it out on the back one. Oh, this thing's not gonna. Okay. Let's try that again. You know what? No, I can't. I don't wanna mess this up, because this is definitely parts that it needs to be put on. So you guys get the general idea how it looks. But for the cannons back here, they can tilt, of course. I mean, pivot up like that, and then they could. You can actually do a separate like that for a widespread attack, you could say. So that's kind of cool. I don't know how articulate or how guns will be able to turn left and right, because I have a feeling when I paint this without the guns, the paint is going to go into the hole and it's going to tighten up. So I'm going to have to look into, you know, maybe put a cotton ball in there, so that way it doesn't mess up. I mean, this is so tight in there, you don't have to worry about it coming off. But I don't want it to be too tight and having difficulties putting it in, regardless of the case. So I'll put something there to block it. So far the Andromeda is starting to look really nice. We're almost done. Okay, so the last part will be the remaining parts of the ship, like here in the back. And there are these little parts here that goes into this, like this one goes here. It lines up to the trim here. This one goes there. Okay. Let's go around. This one goes here. This one goes there, like so. I don't think you need glue for that. I think it's nicely tight and goes in there. And then we have the stabilizer wings. Oop, that goes on the other side. How about this? This one goes there. This one goes here. Be careful how you grab everything here, because you know those are little parts that stick out sharp, but they can easily bend and break, so careful. Be very careful, especially with these. And then we have these two parts here. One goes here. The other goes there. Whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. And we have this part that goes here. I didn't want to put this on first because I didn't want to break it. As you can see there. And then the last parts is going to be the thrusters here. We have these little small stabilizers. I think you can glue these. Yeah. I'll glue them. Right now he's going to put them on for now. Okay. There you have it. There's the Andromeda. Somewhat semi-complete. Let's position this right. Yeah. There you go. I have to admit, it does look amazing. For what it's worth. This was a. I was actually thinking it was going to be a big kit, but it's not a big kit. It's big, yes, in its overall size with the Yamato, but not a big kit overall, like to put on. You know, it's not like the 1/500 scale Yamato that I made last year. This one is not last year, 2 years ago. Let me put a comparison of the original Andromeda. Let me see if I can pull it out here. Alright, so let me put this one here. Now then, this is technically the 1/700 scale Andromeda, the original Andromeda. And of course here is the 2202 Andromeda. And there's a light source here. Actually, with this stand you can actually remove, as you can see. Really nice. And there are these metal contacts and a battery pack there. The battery's probably like, oh no, there's no batteries in there anymore. I removed them. I should put them on. Later on I'll do them so we can turn them on. But the light source turns on here. Wow. That's a nice little side-by-side comparison with this. Really cool. I'm really digging this. Yes, I really am. Now, yes, of course, I don't have the guns on it because I'm going to prepare to paint it, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like now. And we might as well try this, see how it sounds. Whoops. And I may have to position the camera in a way where you can see the lighting effect. Let me put that like this here. Okay, so we're not going to do the wave motion engine gun because that's not the first button. This is, of course, what it would look like when you hit button number 1. Did I hit it right? Oh, wrong button. And of course, when you turn that button on and that sound effect comes on, the bridge is on as well. Now, I don't know what the second... Oh, it's the volume. So the second button is the volume. So let's do the wave motion engine and see how that looks. I'll keep it right here. Okay. Okay, this is actually... Alright, I'm not regretting this. Thank you. Money well spent. Money well spent. Okay, so... yes. The Andromeda works. And, of course, the light's still on the bridge, which is kind of cool. Surprisingly, I don't see the lights in the back turn on. Oh, well, these lights are still on. Wow. And then, of course, if I want to turn it off, I hit turn off the button and be done. Okay. Let's plan this out. So first thing I'm going to be removing is some of the parts, like this part here, the guns, of course, the little bridge here. These parts needs to be removed because I need to, there's some, I thought that these parts you have to push them all the way in, but no, they're sticking out. So I have to sand them down, clean them up. I believe this whole section can be removed, but I do have to put areas to cover up the red parts here and the holes in the main turret guns. I got to remove this white part as well. Then we'll begin the priming phase. Unfortunately, this whole thing is stuck to this stand, so I'm going to actually mask off the speaker section. Actually, you know, I can remove the entire assembly of the battery and the sound effects from this kit, unplug it and remove it, so that way when I spray it I don't damage it. So that's something I can do right now. And then we'll move on. Then of course we're going to begin priming this kit and get it nice and ready. So let us begin painting the Andromeda.